Here they come. Welcome, Rotarians and guests, to the Rotary Club of York. It is a great day to be a Rotarian because we live to the service above self motto, and we follow our four-way test. If you would join me, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? And will it be beneficial to all concerned? Absolutely. I am Aaron Jacobs, your club president, and it's great to be back after a 3-week break. And thank you, President-elect Courtney, for doing such a great job while I was away. We have a great program today, but first we will enjoy the opening song, God Bless America, and the pledge by past President Brian Tate, followed by the invocation by past District Governor Dick Brown, and visitor introductions with Jane Conover. Brian.
Rotarians and guests, please join me. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
As we gather as Rotarians on this day to celebrate the tireless works of historians and keepers of wonderful and challenging generational memories, we might find guidance and a special charge to each of us as Rotarians for those purposes and others in the words of Mahatma Gandhi's prayer for peace. I offer you peace. I offer you love. I offer you friendship. I see your beauty. I hear your need. I feel your feelings. My wisdom flows from the highest source. I salute that source in you. Let us work together for unity and love. And the world's children said, Amen. Amen.
Good afternoon. In the spirit of friendship, I am announcing the guest list for today. It's my honor to introduce our guests. When I call your name, please stand and remain standing until President Aaron has welcomed you. First is Jessica Waldersdorf, Home Club of Hanover. Madeline Torres Ocasio, guest of Gina Spangler. And these following are all guests of Joan Mummert, Jeff Fieser, Diane Baker, please stand, thank Bill Yanovich, Sean Stein, Nisi DeShields Moulton, Tom Kopman, Terry Altland, Dan Fink, and Keith Mummert. This is Rebecca Countess is a guest of Frank Countess. Bronley Martin is a guest of President Aaron Jacobs. Pablo Villa Beaumont is a guest of Tom Calter-Jerome. Rich Wurzbach is a guest of Ryan Heyman. Veronica Adams is a guest of Joe Iandola. Tina Charles, a guest of Ashley Etzweiler, and Jenny DeJesus Marshall is a guest of Ashley Etzweiler. Keith Murr, a guest of Martin Fedorko. Steve Seligson, a guest of Wade Williams. And Linda May is a guest of Dan May. And last is Les Brandt. He's a guest of Rob Bowen. President Jacobs.
Friends, we are pleased to have you today. I hope you enjoy our time with our wonderful Rotary Club, and a club that continues to grow. And the reason we continue to grow is because people just like you come and visit us every week and want to be a part of our group of community diverse leaders. So enjoy the food, the fellowship, and the program today, as I hope this will be your first and next step to becoming a member of our club. Hey, Rotarians, help me in welcoming our guests. We have some announcements to go through. It's with sadness that I note the passing of Carl Saladay on November 17th at the age of 94. Carl was a member of our club for 56 years, from 1967 until his resignation earlier this year. Would you please join me in a moment of silence to remember Carl? You. Speaking of long-term members, the membership committee would like to congratulate Fred Fay, standing or sitting right over there in the corner, on his 50th anniversary as a member of the Rotary Club of York. Fred, it's a real privilege for me to make that announcement because I've always thought of you as a model Rotarian, and I always wanted to kind of be the Rotarian that you always were. And so the fact that this happens during my presidency is a great honor. Thank you for being a valued member of our club. Your generosity and community service are what helps to make us the great club that we are. Let's give a round of applause for Fred Fay. Next week, we will not be at the Country Club of York. Next week will be our holiday program at York College, December 6th. We'll enjoy a lunch at the beautiful Yorkview Room and then proceed to the Waldner Performing Arts Center, or what they call the WPAC, for a holiday rave review program featuring local high school students. Performances coordinated by Rotarian Lynn Bergdahl. We do need your reservation, so if you plan to attend, there is a slip of paper on your table with a QR code that you can scan or just email Berg to make that happen. Also, thank you to past President Glenn Miller for allowing us to do that. Oh my gosh, Freudian slip. I think it was my 50th anniversary, Fred. When you get to be my age, sorry, Lynn. All right, I'm going to get off the stage for a little bit and welcome Gina and Ashley Etzweiler to the stage to do a check presentation. Gina and Ashley.
Welcome, everyone. How are you this afternoon? Good. So you can see we clearly dressed for the occasion for Christmas. We have our red and green on, and we have a special guest. Madeline is here with us today from the York County Hispanic Coalition. And you know, it's kind of funny how this started. I'm part of the IDEA committee, and Ashley is part of youth development. And we both work with Madeline through the York County Hispanic Coalition. And I believe we both met her from her presentation at our meeting a few years ago. So with that said, we have an event every year. It's called the Three Kings event, and it was September timeframe. And part of IDA, we're talking about what can we do to start celebrating the diversity and Spanish history and Hispanic month. And so one of the things we talked about was maybe we could sponsor the Three Kings event. It's a great event. It's happening this year, January 13th at William Penn Senior High School. Madeline is always a great cheerleader for the calls. And we see over 300 families that come in from the New York City community. She organizes getting agencies there that can be a support system to those folks that come through the doors. And after that, they visit each table, they come over and they get a toy. And we gave out all our toys last year. So we really wanted to do something together and big. And we went to President Aaron and said, how can we do this to recognize the Spanish History Month? And he said, well, he challenged us. And at first I was a little kind of like, what? We just want to do something together. And he said, I want you to do a service project. And so I said, Ashley, we can do that. We both work together on the organization through Rotary. This should be pretty easy. And so we're very happy that you all were so generous to donate your funds and toys. And with that, we want to thank you, Madeline, for all you do. We love working with you through the coalition. And we love when you come to Rotary with us. And you're such a great support system in the York City School District. So thank you. And we want to give you this check for $1,612. Sorry, I keep getting away from the microphone. And we're going to buy lots of toys after Christmas. So if anybody wants to come out and bargain shop at Ollie's, we're going to get some deals because the event's not till January. And we also would love for you to volunteer your time Friday evening, January 12th at William Penn Senior High School. Just let Ashley and I know if you can help. And we would love to have you help us set up. And the day of the event is super fun. We did it last year. Jen May, myself, Teresa Gregory, Michael. If I'm missing anybody, please let me know. I apologize. Ken Cooper is always there to take pictures and learn Spanish. So it's a great event. Let us know if you can help. We'd love to have you. Thank you. Thanks, Madeline.
I'm overwhelmed. Thank you so much for your support and having these ladies working together with us at the York County Hispanic Coalition has been a blessing. The York County Hispanic Coalition, and we cover York County high schoolers, college-bound Hispanic or Latino students. We award scholarships for them to have that first step into what post-secondary education is, and for them to realize their goals. And many of them are first-time generations going into colleges or tech schools, certifications. Again, thank you so much for your support. The children will be ecstatic. You should be there and see their faces when they see the three kings. We have three men dress up. We celebrate the Epiphany as we do in our Latin Hispanic countries. And we do resource fairs so the parents also have something to hold on to, or the information they need, if they need any services in the community. But the main thing is the children, their faces, the continuance of that celebration, that tradition that we want to preserve for our students, our children, and anyone that comes in. We don't only serve Hispanic, Latino families. A lot of families in the community come in from not just the city either. The county comes in. We post it on Facebook. We try our best to have as many toys that we can. So every child at least have one toy with them. So thank you so much for having me here a couple of times. I always enjoy being in the meetings and making connections with all of you. Thank you.
Thank you for doing such a great job with a project that has such impact. And thank you for all of you who supported that project. And now I'd like to invite past President Josh George to the stage to do new member inductions. Past President Josh.
Good afternoon, Rotarians and guests. It's always a pleasure to be here with you. And we're into the holiday season, and what a better gift than 3 new members to our Rotary Club. So today I would like to introduce you to first Ann Brzozowski. Ann is in the middle there. Ann is a graduate of Riverview High School in Sarasota, Florida, and she went on to earn her Bachelor of Science in Special Education from Jacksonville University and a Master of Science degree in Special Education from Florida State. She currently serves as a director and will be the incoming president in 2024 of the Leonard and Judith Schwartzbaum Foundation. Her community service includes serving as a vice president for Gamma Phi Beta, a volunteer for Girls on the Run, and also a volunteer at Your Country Day School. Her hobbies include tennis, running, swimming, golf, and weight training. And she is the parent to daughters Catherine, who is 18, and Julia, who is 14. And she is proposed for membership by Sarah White. Ladies and gentlemen, Ann Brzozowski. Next, we have Ashley Zimmerman. Ashley, give a wave. Ashley is a graduate of Dover Area High School, and she went on to earn a Bachelor of Science in Marketing from York College of Pennsylvania. She serves as the Executive Director of the Northern Central Railway, also affectionately known as Steam into History. Her volunteer community service includes serving as a teacher for the Greater Dover Dance Academy. She's been a board member for the Youth Protection Advocates of Dance. She's been a judge for the Distinguished Young Women of York County program, and she's been a volunteer at the Belmont Theater. Her hobbies include traveling, spending time with family and friends, and being a dance mom to daughter Riley, who is 7. And she is proposed for membership by Lauren Crow. Ladies and gentlemen, Ashley Zimmerman. And last but certainly not least, we have Ron Starnes. Ron is a graduate of Warren Western Reserve High School, which is in Warren, Ohio, and went on to earn a Bachelor of Science in Music Education from God's Bible School and College, then a Master of Arts in Leadership and Ministry from Greenville College, and finally, a Master of Divinity from the Asbury Theological Seminary. As you can probably tell from his dress, Ron serves as the Corps Officer and York Area Coordinator for the Salvation Army of York. His hobbies include sports, puzzles, and walking, and he is married to Margaret, and they have 3 adult children, Cassie, Mason, and Jared. Ron is a former Rotarian in several clubs. He has traveled around the country as part of his role with the Salvation Army, and he's been an active Rotarian since back in 1994. And he has been a member of clubs in Piqua, Ohio, Warren, PA, Oil City, PA, and most recently Suffern, New York, before joining us here in York, Pennsylvania. And he was proposed for membership by past President John Kleindienst. Ladies and gentlemen, Ron Starnes.
I mentioned to our guests earlier that being a guest is the first step in becoming a member, or in Ashley's case, you have to be a presenter. Not really, but we called her out on it. And I promised myself today I wouldn't embarrass anybody because I don't want to call, Rob Kinsley out about becoming a member, just saying Rob. But I'm so glad the 3 of you took the next step to be a member, and your journey with us has only begun. Service above self and the 4-way test are the way to become an outstanding true Rotarian. Rotarians, help me welcome our newest members. So Ashley and Gina mentioned the fact that I challenged them, and I mentioned it was part of the President's Challenge, which they successfully did. And I have a new President's Challenge focus today with Service Above Self, where we will get to be informed about the committee. We get to promote what it does. We get to solicit you to be a part of what they do and invite you to share your ideas with Michael Hady. So Michael, would you please come to the podium, talk about Service Above Self?
Thank you. Great to see everyone. Really, the Service Above Self Committee is the heart of this organization in so many ways. We talk about it a lot every week at Rotary, and this committee was really created to honor those people in our community who really have demonstrated something really outstanding. So the Service Above Self Award is named in honor of Charles Wolfe, past district governor who exemplified the qualities of a service above self. The criteria for nominating an individual for the award are as follows: made an impact on our community, gone above and beyond what is expected of him or her, performed an act of heroism, not received recognition in the past, and is not in an occupation in which such actions are part of their job description. Also, should be a role model for others. Since this description fits most of us in this room, we strongly incline to select non-Rotarians for this award. The honorees are invited to Rotary meeting to be recognized, where they're presented with a beautiful glass trophy and an award and a $150 check to the nonprofit of their choice. The committee meets once or twice a year, so it's not a big commitment. And we will be meeting in January again to pick the next recipients. And I'm going to ask you to stand up if you're on the committee. The current committee members are Dick Brown, Bill Hartman, Fran Polk, Jody Keller, Sean Kenny, Mike Kochenauer, Eric Menser, Lauren Sheehy, Bill Shipley, and I'm really happy that we have two of our brand new Rotarians that asked to join the committee this week, Ashley Zimmerman, way to jump right in, and Sandy Chilton, who is also a new member. Thank you for standing. Thank you. You can nominate someone anytime during the year as you see someone that has made that impression on you. The nomination form is on the Rotary website. We know there are a lot of unsung heroes out there in our community, and all 200 or so of you should be able to find one or two of them. So I would ask that you keep that in the front of mind. As you see those people, please nominate them. And again, the nomination form's on the website, and we'll be meeting sometime in January to review the next group. So thank you.
Thank you, Michael, for keeping service above self front and center of our club. Because of what you do, it is our essence of our existence. So thank you again. And speaking of good things that our club does, I'd like to invite Bill Hartman to the stage to give us an update on the Paul Harris Fellowship Society. Bill.
Thank you very much, President Aaron. As you might recall, at our last meeting, we had the opportunity to celebrate a couple of good things, but primarily the great progress we're making in increasing our contributions and our per capita contributions to the foundation. It was also fun to celebrate the first ever member of this club to become a member of the Arch Clump Society, Jane Davis, with a contribution of $250,000 to the Rotary Foundation. Really deserved that honor that we gave her. Today, we're going to be honoring and celebrating a number of people who are really helping fuel the good, positive direction we are achieving. And would like to start with the major donors. Yeah, the major donors. These are major donors who have contributed at least $10,000 to the Rotary Foundation over the course of their Rotary membership. So obviously they believe in the foundation and are putting their money where their mouth is. Now you might see two people who are listed separately. First of all is 50-year Rotarian Fred Fay, who we're going to honor every 50 years for that honor. Fred is listed separately on this chart because he has achieved level 2 of major donor status. Level 2 means that you've contributed at least $25,000 to the Rotary Foundation over the course of your membership. Now, you might be wondering why I'm wearing a tie. Particularly because at the last meeting, I said I would wear a tie again to Rotary once we got our second Arch Clump Society member. Well, we don't have our second Arch Clump Society member, but we have something equally important, a really important landmark to celebrate. And it is our good friend and outstanding true Rotarian, Dick Julian. Dick has achieved level 3 this month. Level 3 is a cumulative total of $50,000 of giving to the foundation over the course of membership. And I thought that was necktie worthy. So would you please stand, Dick, and we'll give you a great round of applause. With philanthropic leaders like Jay Davis, Dick Julian, our major donors, all Paul Harris Society members. It's no wonder that we're doing as well as we're doing in growing our contributions. So today, next slide, please. Today, we're going to be honoring people who have stepped up to the next level. When I call your name, come up, and President Aaron will present you with a pin. First is John Olkowski, who has achieved the level of Paul Harris Fellow +6. Pretty impressive. Thank you, John. Next is a Rotarian who has achieved Paul Harris Fellow Level 5, Bill Hunter. Our esteemed treasurer has achieved Paul Harris Level 4, Doug Berman. Thank you, Doug. And Ashley Etzweiler gets to make her second trip to the front of the room today because she has achieved Paul Harris Fellow Level 3. So one of the ways we're going to celebrate what we're doing here and the growth is by having another promotion. We're going to have what we think may be the biggest promotion we've ever done, and we're going to call it Project Step Up. Yeah, and we have some goals. We're going to use Project Step Up to try to get 20 members of this club to achieve the next level of Paul Harris Fellow recognition. We're going to use this promotion to try to achieve 3 new Paul Harris Society members. Now, you know, Paul Harris Society members are individuals who have committed to give $1,000 a year to the Rotary Foundation. Now, this is not a contract. It's just an intent. It can be revoked at any time. So we have 13 members of Paul Harris Society now, would like some more. We had 7 people last year give $1,000, but they're not members of Paul Harris Society. So all you have to do is to join the club is signal us with your intent. And then lastly, we would like to see 3 new major donor level achievement by people either becoming major donors for the first time or getting to the next level of major donors. So the way we're going to do this is we're going to match up to $500 in contributions to get you to the next level by giving you 500 recognition points. Let me give you an example. Let's say that you're a Rotarian and you're $900 away from the next Paul Harris Fellow level. If you contribute $450, we'll match that with 450 points and you will achieve that next level. So that's how the process works. And this process will continue through February 28th. The other thing we'll do is if you agree to join the Paul Harris Society, we will give you 500 recognition points in addition to matching any contributions you make between now and February 28th. So in essence, any contribution you make between now and February 28th will be matched up to 500 recognition points. Unless you're a Paul Harris Fellow +8, you should have received a greeting email this morning telling where you are and what you need to get to the next level. And we're trying to make this process as easy as possible for you. And we're looking forward to a very successful project. And once again, thank you so much for your generous support of the Rotary Foundation. It's really heartwarming for me to see such generosity and so much good in the world being done by all of us. Thank you.
Thank you to all the Paul Harris Fellows, Bill Hartman, and your committee for keeping generosity of our club alive, relevant, and vibrant. Please keep up the good work. And now I'd like to invite past President Glenn Miller to the podium to introduce our program. Glenn.
Thank you, President Aaron. Good afternoon, everybody. Winston Churchill was once asked how he thought history would remember him. And he famously replied, I expect history to be very kind to me because I intend to write it. I'm a fan of Churchill's, especially a fan of his quotes, and yet history, when it is written or told with any predetermined outcome, isn't really doing its job. The job of telling our history, it seems to me, is to speak the truth about the past as accurately and comprehensively as possible to those in the present for the sake of those coming in the future. That understanding of the role of history has deeply infused the work of the York County History Center and its CEO and president, Joan Mummert. If you don't believe that one person can make a transformational difference in life or a community, then you clearly haven't met Joan Mummert. Since taking the reins of the York County Heritage Trust more than 16 years ago, she has quite literally transformed a small, beloved organization into a centerpiece institution of our community that has grown far beyond anyone's imagining. That growth, fueled by Joan's vision and embraced by this community, will soon be culminating in an amazing new museum in the heart of the city. What was an abandoned steam plant will soon become a steam engine of storytelling about this community, its history, our history. Joan is joined today by our former York County History Center Board Chair, Rob Kinsley, whose leadership, particularly during his tenure on the board, contributed greatly to bringing the steam plant vision into reality. It is my great honor to serve on the board of directors of the History Center and today to introduce our fellow Rotarian and my very dear friend, Joan Mummert, and our good friend and future Rotarian, Rob Kinsley. Welcome.
Thank you, past President Glenn. Way to render your speaker speechless. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for the opportunity to present what's coming to this community in 7 short months after 6 long years, the York County History Center's new location at the steam plant. There are lots of thank yous, and this gentleman to my right, your left, is one of those people who this vision would not be realized without, along with our entire community, because this is your history and it starts there. It's your history, it's our board's history, it's the people who came before us and the people who came last week. That's who we want to incorporate into this. So by show of hands, real quick, how many people were here in 2017 when we came up, the two of us, with this crazy thing and presented it to the Rotary Club? All right, a good number of you. So we're going to continue that journey. And for those of you who are not in the room, we're going to ask you to take a look at what's coming in 7 months. So we'll start with a video.
There's something new coming to York County, and we want you to be a part of it. The experience at the York County History Center reflects thoughtful input from partner organizations and community groups from across the county. When you come inside, you'll find inspirational stories that highlight the personal connections we all share with our history and each other. Our exhibits reflect what matters to you. Sharing multiple perspectives about our experiences. And acknowledging the many cultures, traditions, and innovations that contribute to the character of our county. Here, it's possible to discover new ways of understanding our history. The people of York are known for our revolutionary ideas, for the founding of our nation, re-energizing our economy, and for striving to improve social conditions across the county. And new stories continue to happen. The History Center stays relevant by building easily changeable exhibits and by enabling visitors to record their own stories about their York experience. Continue to listen and grow with our community. And we'll preserve our stories for future generations. Come join us at the History Center. Your history starts here.
Pretty cool, huh? So let me just, here we go. So real quick, why do museums exist? Why are we important? We exist for the public good, and we exist to serve you, the members of our county, our community. Museums, libraries, and archives are best equipped today, better equipped than yesterday, to engage learners, explorers of all ages and backgrounds. Today, the History Center facilitates experiences through exhibits, programs, and services, and much, much more. Our collections offer a tangible, authentic connection between past and present. We strive to help people understand the past to illuminate the future through inclusive, authentic storytelling and preservation. Our focus centered upon the purpose of delivering to the community a cultural anchor that brings people into the city and county to experience our rich and vast history, resulting in millions of dollars of economic impact. So a brief history for those who were not here in 2017. We essentially grew beyond our means. We, through many well-intended mergers, went from 87,000 square feet to more than 214,000 square feet. And our collections grew to over 500,000 items. That is a lot to carry, but it's a wonderful history to tell. And so when Rob and I went on a quest to look for the right solution, along with the board of directors, in 2013, we engaged a group called the Gallagher Group to help us take all of these 8 buildings. You know, some are crossed out. We don't have them anymore, or they're leaving. How to best tell your county's history in a comprehensive, compelling, engaging way that we had never done before. And essentially, they came back to us and said, really noble idea, but way too expensive. You can't sustain this. We suggest that you right size. And therefore, we've been on this quest to take the steam plant, revitalize it, right size it, make it really meaningful to this community. So when I started, we had 10 buildings. We sold the J.E. Baker building. It's now apartments, so it's a taxable entity. And the same was true with the Clark Avenue warehouse. So we've added value to the community as well, because we've added dollars back in. So in trying to find the right solution, we did buy the steam plant, and Rob's going to tell you a little bit about that. A lot.
Thanks, Joan. It's nice to see everyone. As Joan pointed out, we needed to find another solution. We needed a new vision and purpose, and we started to look to the steam plant. The steam plant's an interesting building. When we first started talking to people about the steam plant, people sort of said, I don't know what you mean. Maybe we could describe the stack and they'd have some vision of it on the horizon. But I think what's important for everyone to realize is it was a void in our downtown. It was this big hulking edifice that no one really knew what it was. There are something like 12,000 cars that pass through the intersection of Philadelphia and Pershing, and most people had no sense of what was there, right? It was this void. It was not active. It wasn't doing anything, which is, an irony for a building that once helped provide all the energy for our city. So part of our goal was to figure out how we could do more than 1+1 and really bring this building back. So part of it was to figure out how to maximize it, get as much space and use out of as we could. For those of you who do remember the building, it's a group of buildings, right? It's not one building, and we needed to figure out how to pull it together. The other thing we wanted to do, and again, a sort of a more than 1+1, was to bring openness to both our organization and to this building. We wanted it to be open, we wanted it to be inviting, and to bring energy back to the city. And so one of the big moves was to connect these buildings with a large, very open, very glassy atrium and event space that allowed us to take advantage of all that was there. I'm going to walk you through the floor plans pretty quickly, just so you know what's in the building. And then I'm going to come back and describe some of the spaces in more detail. So on the first floor, as you look at this building where you have Pershing on the bottom and Philadelphia there on the right, people are welcomed in near the corner into this large, open, welcoming lobby and event space. And from there, you can see and experience basically everything in the building. For those of you who do museums or know about them, you always need to say when people come in, where am I? How do I visit? Now I need to go to the bathroom, and can I get a drink? So you can do that. You can go to the bathroom, you can go to our cafe and store. Huge number of our visitors, both from within our region and from outside of our region, come to visit our library and archives directly off the lobby. In the future, there'll be a new changing gallery. And of course, they have access to the main exhibit. If people go into the main exhibit, they can experience, it's about 18,000 square feet of exhibit space in the main exhibit. It goes on to the second floor in a mezzanine through the exhibit gallery and brings them back out towards the lobby in that final experience, which is that place where we collect people's stories. For those of you who know StoryCorps, think of our own StoryCorps right here in New York. By heading towards that gallery, they'll pass our climate-controlled archive storage space, and the second story also houses the administrative offices. On the third floor of this building is a new, large, multi-purpose room, which will have incredible views of downtown and our redone riverscape. that has its own bathrooms and catering support for events. And lastly, another changing exhibit gallery. So that's sort of how the building stacks up. And of course, it has all the back of house support spaces to support those. Going back to the first floor, this is, I was there yesterday. I took some photos for you. Everyone drives by and sees what's going on. I think what Joan and I both want to get across is that after all this time, we are this close to the finish. We're so excited in 7 months to open the doors and invite all of you in, but we wanted you to see, it's one thing to see renderings. It's another to say, but is it actually happening? Here is a shot of the main lobby space looking back towards Pershing and out towards the creek. What will become our new library and archives. In the main exhibit box, we want to express this is not a museum like any we have in town or really in the region. This is a state-of-the-art museum that mixes our artifacts, our documents with handheld interactives, digital interactives, and really retells our story in a way that everyone in the community can see themselves in this story. That's important to us. We want everyone to see themselves in the story and then to add to it by telling us their story. We're telling a broad swath of our county's history, from our part in founding the nation, in our part of the agricultural revolution, in our part in the industrial revolution, our outsized part of fueling World War II, and all the way to the diverse cultures that make up our community today. It's packed with digital interactives that can engage visitors. In the museum world, we have this thing that we try to engage both streakers, strollers, and scholars. This museum is ready for everyone. If you've got 30 minutes and you want to buzz through and get the highlights, we're there for you. If you want to be a stroller and you want to wander through and take time to pick out stories and go deeper as you want, we're there for you. If you want to spend all day and read every panel we have, please do. So again, the exhibit box creates this very immersive interactive experience. Here's some pictures of where we are today. The bulk of the building itself and all the spaces are just about complete and ready to receive the exhibits. We're literally in the middle of preparing to move in what we call our macro artifacts. Think of that giant ammonia compressor on its way there. And in a short few weeks, the exhibits will be coming in. You can see the galleries ready to receive exhibits. We are so excited to welcome people back and have events again. And this building will be another great space downtown to have events. This great multi-purpose space on the third floor that will have the organ. Here's just a shot of it where it is now, and those wonderful views to downtown, not unlike the Yorkview room that we mentioned earlier. It has incredible views, and of course it has the changing gallery. This has taken a long time. We talked about that. We went through two sort of periods. We spent about 18 months working with the National Park Service, trying to explore the option of historic tax credits, not unlike our other large project downtown, the Yorktown Hotel. In the end, we chose not to do that. It was the right decision for us. As soon as we came out of that, we went into COVID. But here we are. As we said, it's been 6 years. I can tell you in my experience, this is not the longest museum project I've worked on. Gettysburg took 11. So put that in context. Basically, we want to make sure that you all know that your history starts here. And we're so excited to have you come in a very short time and see what we have to offer. Joe?
So during a strategic planning session with community members, board members, one of our activities was to envision what we would like people to say about this new place. And so thanks to Jeff Lobach, the phrase "meet me at the stack" was coined. So we envisioned having a stack represented in our newsletter, and then what we really strive to achieve, bring all communities and histories together. As you noticed on the History Makers Array, a variety of different people for the who represent past and present on that array. It'll be the first time that people get to walk into this museum or any of our spaces and say, oh my gosh, my community is represented on that tower. So we're very excited about that. And it's more than the tower. There's lots to dig into. We envision this building being a network for the entire community. So at part of your experience will be in the culminating section, you will be able to pick places that you want to go visit, send that information to yourself, because we want to make sure that after you've had an overview of York County's history, that you dig in the community. So we envision ourselves as having a permeable membrane in the organization. So history is outside and it's inside. We want to make sure that we shatter all of our visitor records. I have no doubt we'll do that in this. And that our history, we will have virtual history tours, which we do now, but we'll have additional tours. And of course, we really want Ken Burns to say it all started in York County. Wish us luck. But one of our goals is to make sure that we really do represent the county. And I meant what I said earlier, whether you've been here for generations or you came last week, you are part of the tapestry of this community. And we want to make sure that we collect your story and be able to represent it in the future. So cannot wait to deliver this place to you. This is a big move in a series of additional moves. But this is the first one. As Stephen Covey said, first things first, and this is a biggie. So thank you for making it happen, because it really is up to the community to support these things, and you've been wonderful. So thank you.
No, that's what I thought. Now I'm on. This is for questions, not for me to look pretty behind. Or old behind. One over there, guy did a lot of talking earlier, but we'll give him another chance. And it's on now. Everybody deserves a second chance. Thanks, Chuck. First of all, to Rob and Jim, congratulations on making such progress. It's really an exciting project. I'm just curious as to how your construction costs have worked out compared to what you budgeted, and then how does the operating budget look like in terms of what your ongoing costs to sustain the property will be?
You want to take the first part? I'll take the second.
Yeah.
Okay.
Say 20 to 30. Yeah. So like all things, they haven't gotten any less expensive. I think when we started the project, we thought it would be about a $20 million project. It has turned into a $30 million project. That is all in. That's all costs, soft, hard, etc. And so it has changed dramatically. I think all of you know that we've been through probably the most escalatory construction market in living memory in decades. And so I think while that happened, I think we're proud that we got through it and are where we are and are managing to deliver this to the community. If you want to talk a little bit about the other part.
So regarding the operating budget, we have a bunch of old buildings that aren't very efficient. This building promises to be more efficient. Now we'll have a higher level of cost because we finally have a really good security system. We finally have technology. So all in, we should save some money. We did an economic study that said about $100,000, but I'd say when you factor in technology and things we hadn't really considered, it'd probably be even, but our deferred maintenance goes down dramatically. And that's a big deal to us.
I think it's important. I know we had in one of our presentations, when we started this process, and we had all 10 buildings, we had $20 million in deferred maintenance sitting there. That was 6 to 10 years ago. So in some ways, both with the hard dollars that we spent and what we're doing the budget, the question is, we knew we were going to have to spend this money. It was how to spend it wisely to be able to do more.
Other question? You're not allowed to talk until I come over. You can come over there. I'll just stand here and you all come around in a line. I thought it was you. I know you too.
Two questions. What's the parking situation going to be? And is there still a plan to put the Articles of Confederation memorial across the street from the museum?
For parking, the amazing answer is there is parking off street right at the building. For those of you who operate downtown, I just want you to imagine what a wonderful thing that is to say. There's plenty of parking right adjacent to the building in our own parking lot. And of course, it's also, as you know, that part of town, if you're willing, there's lots of street parking. So we feel very comfortable about parking. I'll let Joan address your second part.
So Hard Bargains is the artwork that Genevieve Ray and a group of loyal kitchen cabinet members, I believe she calls them, have been trying to create to honor and remember the Articles of Confederation, our first constitution of this country. Yes, it's still meant to be across the street. No, the design isn't final yet. It's changed over time, but they are getting closer. We expect we will be the long-term takeout partners, owners of that artwork. And we expect to see a design in January.
Notice how he's quietly sitting with hand raised. That's the way to do it.
Thank you. Thank you for your presentation. On the Articles of Confederation, are there other unique pieces or articles in the museum or library that you can mention?
How long
do we have?
Yeah, how long would you like to be here? So one of the most important collections that we have is a Lewis Miller collection. And researchers across the country who are interested in early American history, which is, by the way, he does not just include Caucasian members, he included everybody in his drawings, and some of them are quite funny and irreverent. That man had a sense of humor. So that is one of the most important collections that we have in the library and archives. We have 400,000 items in the library and archives, and that incorporates books, Bibles, digital material, photographs, family files. So it's quite extensive. And then we have another almost 100,000 three-dimensional items, which could be the size of the clicker or the A-frame that you saw in the video. In terms of most important, there are many, many things that are important to this community and this country. We have a lot of things for the York Plan, the history of the York Plan, a lot of the artifacts from the York Plan. We have important vehicles that were created here, and the history in this community is extraordinary. Our exhibit designers, when they first came on site and looked at everything that we had, said, "Is everything made in York County?" Pretty much. So it's hard to distinguish, but I think some of the early roles that we had in shaping this country, this government, the conversations between the Congress and George Washington at Valley Forge, those were pretty important. And we have a lot of those, that information and publications around them.
You know, for years, my children and I have walked past this project every single day watching it come together step by step. And I have to tell you, it gives us a sense of pride to see that you're so committed to our history and our community. Thank you for your vision and your hard work. You have redeveloped a part of our city that helps to unify our identity. And most importantly, you have made all of our past a part of our future. And in honor of their program today, they have signed the book platelet. Ta-da! I Am Every Good Thing by Derek Barnes. It will be donated to the Devers Elementary School in the city of York, along with the bookmark made by students at Creative York. Now, if you thought this was a great program, and indeed it was, next week is going to be our annual holiday program, as I said earlier. So we'll meet at your college. To register, you need to attend, you need to register, and make sure you use that QR code because it's going to be an outstanding program as it is every year. Having said that, have an amazing Rotarian week.